It's Don here from the board. Thank you for coming along and checking out another one of our videos. Now this has been a really long time coming in the sense that the group buy for these big switches by Novelkey has been running, well, it ran last month and it's actually the end of the month now. Now of course we had an Australian proxy, so the switches had to go from Kale to Novelkeys and then from Novelkeys to the Australian proxy, which was Amtra. So thank you very much to MG Stickler, Mike, and to Angus from Amtra for running this group buy, for running this pre-release of the big switches. Been looking really forward to it, and I'm so happy to get it. And it came in an Australian post parcel just today, and it was great to get because it's something nice to finish the year off with. So let me just switch over to the desktop, and of course I've got some scissors to open it up with, I've got some scales, and I've got some calipers to play with, and I just wanted to show that they even had a nice little sort of collab sticker of Novelkeys and the Amtra logo. Now I'd actually ordered 3 of these, one for me to play with, one for my daughter to play with, and I wasn't quite sure what I was going to do with the third. Originally I thought about using it for Secret Santa, but it didn't actually get here in time, so that kind of went out the window. But my Secret Santa recipient got something anyway, so it wasn't really an issue. So let's check it out. I know a lot of other people have already got theirs, especially in the US, and I know that people have already made cases and plates and things like that and had fancy lights, but that's okay. It's all good, because it's my turn to pull out some babies. Oh, you thought you'd come by to check these out as well, huh? You know, one of these is for you. Okay, there's my 3. Now, of course, naturally, being a clicky lover myself, I had to get them in the blue ones, in the clickies, so... Hey, calm down, right? Calm down. One of these is going to be for you, okay? So there we go. It's packaged in bubble wrap, which is really great. Thank you very much for doing that. Protects it, since the actual satchel wasn't a padded satchel. Let's get our eager little hands on it. Did you want to come up with your chippy hands? Hey, your chippy hands. Right. And there it is. Kale up the top, Novelkeys on the front, Novelkeys X Kale, the big series, and of course it's the blue switch in clicky, and it's exactly the same print on all 4 sides. I love the fact that the box is a slide type box. It's not a flat box, so there's a really lovely sort of element of presentation to it, and just feeling that, and sort of it's a really great fit. I don't know why the camera's sort of lost its focus there at the moment. There we go. So it's a really great fit in that it doesn't pop off easily. So let's crack it open, and look at that gorgeous MX style stem on top. And is it going to... It's barely moving. It's a good tight fit. So you know it's not going to bounce around and get damaged. And look at the size of that. Oh, that is an absolute beast. Now, I'm not saying that I've got the biggest or smallest hands in the world. They're a moderate size. And just sitting there on my hands, it's it's beautiful. Do you want to... Well, she's still got a chip in her hand. It looks like a switch. There's that beautiful leaf spring right there, and there's some pins. You want to put your hands out? She's already wanting to press it. Is it going to be too big for you to press? You want to open? Do you want to open your hands, dear? It's okay. Okay, so. She's really intent.
Say hello.
Can I say hello?
There you go.
Yeah. It's really intent on pressing it. But We've got the central stem there. It is, of course, a plate-mounted switch type, which is very consistent with the Kailh switches. Anyway, we do have this massive gap here for an oversized LED, and it's even got slots through the bottom there, and we've got 2 pins which feel pretty sturdy. Now if I slide that stem off, it's a really good fit, I must say. We can see the stem and that sort of dark blue, and it's a good thickness cap right there with plenty of support. Now, of course, the sound test that everybody loves with my quality mic. Let's see what the first click sounds like. It's a really nice sound. It's got a good amount of sort of spring weight and resistance against that. And then of course, if we put the keycap back on it, which way should it go? And then we depress it. It's got a much heavier sort of hollow sound to it because it's echoing and reverberating. And I'm just noticing the bottom out is actually fully bottoming out on those supports inside that keycap. Is it? No, the bottom out is actually against the stem. So the stem is actually bottoming out all the way down to the bottom there, and that's what that contact point is, because you can see the supports aren't actually hitting the top of the switch. So that's a lot of fun. Now, what can you do with a big switch? Lots of things. We've seen people already do fancy lights and whatnot, but what I'm planning to do with it is to pop a Pro Micro onto it and then program it as a logout. So what I can do then is at work is I could just have it mounted in some kind of case. Sorry, not logout, as a lock terminal. So when I'm getting up from my desk and I'm walking away, I can just hit that and it will automatically lock my terminal rather than using the Win plus L key for lock screen. Now let's just check out some numbers in terms of how it compares. The first and foremost is the complete switch weight weighs 115.3 grams. Now compare that to a typical MX switch. So 115, typical MX switch weighs about 1.8. So we're looking at about just under 100-fold roughly. But that's with a cap. So without the cap, we're looking at 73. So that's about what? 35 times? Try and poke me with your bubble one there. If we look at our dimensions, now we know that a standard switch mounting is 14.5 mil or so roughly. So if I just use these calipers, we're looking at about 56 mil. And it should be about that 54 mil in that dimension as well. So that's sort of the general idea. If you're looking to build yourself a case or mount for it, I'll probably try and model up something in 3D and then print it maybe. And then of course the thickness of the cap compared to usually about 1 mil thick or so, you're looking at about 2 mil on the keycap. I can imagine there's going to be people already casting and making variants and maybe sculpting artisans for the big Switch series, which I'm very keen to see what happens. Now, playing with your mouse at the moment, huh? You want to come up here and play on this instead? Yeah? Come on. Yeah! Oh, hey, no feet on the table. Alright. Press. So the spring weight, I don't know what the spring weight is, but it's obviously light enough for her to be able to press it. One finger. Do you like that? Daddy's gonna have to protect the bottom of that so you don't spack yourself with the with those pins, because they're gonna hurt. Okay. Oh, she's pressing it upside down. So actually, we'll see what the spring weight is on this, if it'll exceed 250 grams. Because this, well, you're trying to change the units. No, we're going to tare it. So it's 0. And alright, so it's definitely more than 100 grams of spring pressure, because this unit only goes up to 250 grams, and we already know it weighs 100 odd grams. So, but it's actually still light enough that you can see she's more than happy to play with it. Huh? You like that, don't you? Okay. So this one can be yours to play with if you want. Oh, what did you do? You changed Daddy's mode and went back to ounces, carats, and grain, and we're back to gram. Rightio. So I'll probably knock up something that will protect this for her, and then she can play with it to her heart's content. And then I've got another 2, of course, for myself. Rightio, that's a very quick look. I've just noticed that the inside of this has some foam, which will protect that as well, which is really cool. I think it's fantastic packaging, and I love the effort that Kale and Novel Keys have gone to develop this. Definitely a fantastic little product. Or should I say, big product, as it were. Rightio. And that is the clicky variant of the Novel Keys Big series. Alright, it's time to say goodbye. You want to say bye? Bye. Yeah? You're just going to wave. Bye-bye? Alright. Well, thanks very much for checking out the video. Of course, love it if you would hit like and of course share, leave your comments below, and if you haven't yet, please subscribe to check out more videos coming up on mechanical keyboards. So, until next time, happy clacking.